If you're looking to maximize your hardware's performance, the only RAM that will meet your extreme needs is the new Kingston HyperX Genesis memory. When you need high-frequency speeds with both low latency and temperatures, the only solution for you is to check out the new HyperX Genesis memory, available now at www.kingston.com/HyperX.
Hi, this is EG.IdrA Fields of Team Evil Geniuses, and this is an EG Pro Replay review brought to you by Kingston HyperX. This game will be me vs Nazgul from MLG Dallas National Championships, and it is the second set Zerg vs Protoss on Scrap Station. Here we see Nazgul as the blue Protoss on the right side of the map, and me as the red Zerg in the top middle. This is the second set of the series in which he blinker rushed, or Stalker blink rushed every single game. So it beat me the first game, and here we will see my response to it in the second game. This is generally considered a Zerg favorite map because there's a very long rush distance. This makes it very easy for Zerg to secure a big early economy, which is always very dangerous for any Protoss or Terran player. We're both opening normally, me going 9 Overlord, him placing an 8 Pylon. This is somewhat non-standard. A lot of the times you'll see Protoss build the pylon here or here in order to make a building wall. But as I'm not considered a very aggressive player, and as this is a very long map, it's okay to build it back, save a little bit of mining time. You don't really need to worry about walling in immediately, as long as you're not looking to expand. And it's no longer a good idea to fast expand because the additional roach range now makes it very easy to pressure such a build in the 2 lines of attack here. As such, we see he's chrono boosting out probes. He's taking a 13 gateway, which is pretty standard, a little bit late. I am continuing to build drones. I go for a 14 hatchery expansion this game. This is a somewhat risky build, but again, this is a very long rush distance map. And as I see, he's already built his gateway here. I know there's no proxy gate, and it doesn't look like he's going to attempt to cannon rush along with zealot pressure, so I feel it's safe to expand. You'll notice I send my Overlord out this way, my second Overlord. A lot of the times Zerg players will send their second Overlord here to keep an eye on the ramp. I personally prefer to send it out this way. It gives you a little extra spotting for any kind of potential proxy gate, as he could be building 1 gateway here and another 2 gateways here or something. Sending your Overlord out in this direction allows you to scout that, and I feel it's worthwhile. But it does cost you a little information, as you can't see this immediately. My first Overlord I send down here and then bring it around here to spot for an expansion. It also checks on his gas time, which is very important. An earlier gas means more likely a sentry or some kind of special tech build. And here you can see him beginning to wall off his ramp with his cybernetic score. He got that immediately. And he's also not making a zealot. This is one of the more vulnerable parts of his Stalker build. He does not get a zealot, so he is a little bit dangerous versus early Zerg harass. Everything continues normally from here. I have my gas up, my pool is about to finish, transfer my initial drones to my expansion, and I'll get 2 queens pretty much immediately as soon as the pool's done. It's very important to get 2 queens quickly if you're going for any kind of economic build, because with that fast expansion, you can afford 2 queens worth of larva injects, and you'll fall behind on production if you don't have them. So it's very important to get those 2 queens out early, unless you're making a lot of units, attacking units. And here with his cyber core done, Nazgul immediately goes Stalker, starts adding on extra gateways. It's often good to pressure with his early Stalker, but on this specific map it's such a long rush distance, but it's not really worthwhile. The Stalker gets there too late to really be of any danger. And sometimes you'll actually lose the Stalker to a Zergling surround or something, so it's really not worth it to send it out. Here I get creep tumors immediately. This is a very kind of big open area, so it's very important to spread creep. It's always very important to spread creep, but here more so than usual, just because you have so much distance to cover, even in early game defense, that the extra mobility is very, very important. Here I'm getting Zergling speed, and here he's begun to commit to the build. He has his Twilight Council for the blink research, and he's adding on the extra gateways. I believe he stops. Yes, he's stopped probe production at 25 probes, and this is pretty much an all-in build, so he probably won't make any more probes for the remainder of the game. He'll just focus entirely on producing units from this here on out. His warp gate research is almost done, and he has his pair of stalkers running around looking for anything. As you can see, he does only have the 2 Stalkers. This is a vulnerable build early on. If you do recognize it somehow, if you see the Twilight Council, if you see Stalkers and the proper gateway timing, it's not a bad idea to make something like 10, 12 Speedlings and try and be a little aggressive here. However, it is very hit or miss. If he defends it, it sets you very far behind, so I chose not to do that. And here, I have the Spine Crawler. I'm spreading my creep for a little extra defense. I have Speedlings out to try and stop any kind of Stalker harass, and to try and catch any probe going out for a pylon. I believe I send these out any moment now. It's very important to have these early Speedlings out on the map. You really want to get map control with them as long as you possibly can. Now my lair is finished and I'm going Hydraless. This is very important. Roach has become a bit more standard, but against this build specifically, you pretty much have to go Hydraless. If you go Roach, it's very, very difficult to defend. And in general, it's best to go Hydra versus 1-base builds, as it's more kind of an all-purpose defense. Roach is only good versus really, really fast Zealot Sentry all-ins. In any other case, it's better to go Hydra if you possibly can. Here, he moves out with his initial army. He has the probe to make the pylon to warp in, and he's just going to basically go pure Stalker from this point and use Blink Micro to try and minimize the damage I can do to him. Unfortunately, as I did recognize the build and did go Hydra, I have Hydra Zergling, which pretty much hard counters the Stalkers. The length of the map allows me to get Hydras out in time, and at this point, there's really just not too much you can do. This is very important, bringing these Zerglings around from the back. It prevents them from blinking out and running away. It allows you to trap him and make sure you actually get to kill all the units. And here, you can see him Blink Micro, but it's not particularly effective just because Hydraless and Zerglings deal damage to Stalkers so quickly, and the range and speed kind of nullifies the blink, so there's not too much you can do in this situation. He's basically just hoping that you went Roach, and having gone Hydraless, it's relatively easy to defend. And from here, I have a pretty massive economy advantage. Well, actually, it's only 5 drones right now, but in terms of production, the ability to produce more drones with 2 queens, 2 hatcheries, it's a big potential economy advantage. It's very hard for him to establish an economy, very easy for me to do so. Also, as I killed all of his units and still had 5 or 6 Hydras left over, plus my reinforcements, I'm now capable of being aggressive, which prevents him from building his economy even more. And to do so, I'm taking down these destructible rocks to give me a direct path of attack up into his base here. He continues to add Stalkers as he knows it's an all-in build, and he's really just kind of dependent on killing me early here. He knows that transitioning to an expansion after that would be very difficult to do. It's not really worthwhile. It's better to just focus on the attack and try and take Zerg out early. And here, he runs in, tries for another attack, but at this point it's really just kind of pointless. As my economy has kicked in, my superior tech has kicked in, and kind of nullifies his blink, which is the real advantage of this build. You can't out-micro Hydras and Zerglings on creep, even if you do have great blink micro. Here I run in. He has walled off. This is an important thing I didn't note early. It's important to wall off so that you don't get countered as Protoss. And here's his last army, but I have a much stronger army, so I'm able to kill it pretty quickly. And he's left with essentially nothing, just 4 warp gates, small economy, and no units. And there's the GG. So this was kind of just a demonstration of how to hold off this Blink Stalker build that's become popular recently, and, well, it beat me at MLG Dallas. So it is a powerful build, but if you recognize it and go Hydra Zergling, you can defend it pretty easily. This has been an EG Pro Replay review brought to you by Kingston HyperX. For more information on Kingston and its HyperX line of products, visit kingston.com/hyperx. And for more great StarCraft II content, visit the Evil Geniuses team website at www.myeg.net.
If you're looking to maximize your hardware's performance, the only RAM that will meet your extreme needs is the new Kingston HyperX Genesis memory. When you need high-frequency speeds with both low latency and temperatures, the only solution for you is to check out the new HyperX Genesis memory, available now at www.kingston.com/hyperx.